Mm. Okay. One more. Okay. Welcome. Welcome. Ty here again. Again. So, and today I'd like to answer a question. like to answer a question. I really like to answer a question. I feel like answering a question, so I'm gonna answer a question. It's a question. It's a question that I asked and I didn't get an answer until of late. Until I realized that the answer is in the question, and the question is also an answer because the answer is in the question. So let's answer the question. Let you get cold. Why Flutter? I mean, why Flutter? Why Flutter? Why that framework? Why that framework? Why that framework? Why Flutter? Why Flutter? Why Flutter? Why Flutter? Um, like life decisions or life lessons, I'm not getting to the advantages and disadvantages quickly, right? Flutter is lightweight, fast, and cheap. It's lightweight because, Jordan, you can definitely put together a decent app on 4 gigs of RAM and then a Celeron processor. You don't need an i7 or 7700K or 7900K and so on and so forth in order for you to put together an app. You don't have to buy a very expensive machine just to put together an app. Next, fast. If you've done your research and you've put down a map or you've done the diagrams and so on and so forth, um, and you basically have designed the whole thing on paper, have designed the app on paper, the wireframing and so on and so forth, and you maybe put together a prototype using Figma or XD. I use Figma. Um, well, guess what? You can put together that whole app or an entire app in less than a fortnight. If you don't know what a fortnight is, it's 14 days, which is 2 weeks. You can put together an app in less than a fortnight. A decent app, fully functional app, a working app too. Come here, you. You're so nice. Okay. Cheap. It's cheap. Cheaper than this. I make it myself. It's nice. It's tea. It's not coffee or vodka or beer. It's tea with lemon and still got the tea bag in there, and it's strong, and I like it like that. It's nice. I might have a sip. It's cheap. It's really cheap. I mean, it's so cheap, one person can actually put together a decent app. Not like a decent app, but a really good app. A proper one. Fully functional too. That's it, it's just cheap. It's free. You understand? The only price is your time. Are you willing to go through? Let me dig into the disadvantages quite quickly, right? Are you willing to, work past the negativity, that new frameworks, or as I call them, young frameworks actually have. Like a whole lot of people out there, they got this whole negative thingy with young frameworks or new frameworks. Um, a lot of people are like, oh no, it's gonna crash and it's gonna die soon. Like, give it 5 years, it's gone, it's dead. But look, Flutter is backed by Google. You understand? And those guys decide, look here, this project here, it's a waste of our time and our resources. We're gonna drop it. Well, I'm pretty sure that they've realized that by now. You understand? And I don't think that I've gone through, the motion or the pain and the stress and the whole thing, the motion of putting together an entire framework if there wasn't really a market or a use for it. You understand? See, Flutter stands right there between you with a weak machine. When I say weak, I mean like pretty incapable of running Android Studio and an emulator, right? Properly and smoothly, and an app. You understand? It just stands right there in between. It just bridges that gap and allows you to get something to market. You understand? Without really having to break your bones, lose a kidney, or toe, cut your hair, or do some other unspeakable acts just to get your hands on a decent machine or an acceptable machine. It allows you to do that. It's cheap, pretty cheap. And the disadvantage is go. A lot of people out there, like people are busy nowadays. It's lockdown, but still a lot of people are busy. A lot of developers are busy, including myself. Yeah, they are. So one thing is picking up a whole new language and a whole new framework. I mean, we got kids that are struggling with Python and Django and Flask and so on. And mm, picking up Dart, that's going to be another thing. But, but, if, like, there's a whole lot of ifs right here. I might as well turn this whole thing into, a code project and put the whole thing on GitHub and just put a link right here for the next, I don't know how many minutes or how long this thing is going to be. Anyway, if you understand the concepts of PL&D, programming logic and design, right? LAD, programming logic and design. Picking up a language or framework is easy, simple. If you understand the concepts of programming logic and design, and the book that I recommend, Joyce Farrell, Programming Logic and Design, 7th edition, right? Or you can start from the 1st edition. I read the 7th edition and it served me quite well. It led me well, pretty much. Um, and I love it. It's a great book. Get that book and you're done. You're good. You're set. You understand? Chew on it and you'll be good. You understand? You won't really have to struggle picking up, you won't really have to struggle with picking up a new language or a new framework, because the only thing that you're just going to be looking at or looking to understand is the syntax and the flow, you understand, of the best practices, if you're going to follow best practices in using that particular language or framework. And you're done. Mm-hmm. This is, that's it. That's it. That's, wow. You are nice. You, oh, mamita what you. Oh. Mm. It's Chisama Pop. Anyway, look, who uses Flutter anyway? I mean, who uses Flutter? Who uses Flutter? I mean, I drink this, but I don't know. Who uses Flutter? Who uses it? Who uses? Who uses? Who think of using Flutter anyway? I use it, but who else uses it? A whole lot of other people use it. Let's look at a situation, right? Let's look at a situation. Let's say let's say we're a magazine, right? Let's say it's a magazine company, or it's an entertainment company, or a mechanic, right? So it's a mechanic or repair shop that's grown really big, right? They've grown, like they've gotten really big. The client base has gotten really big, and so on and so forth. Um, and they need to communicate with their customers. They need to communicate with the clients and so on. And they have branches everywhere, right? Sure thing, they do have a management system where they keep track of the records, the transactions, the cars that are there. Maybe they're servicing a couple of companies, right? and let's say 1,000 other people, 100,000 other people, and they need to let a user know, right? Or they need to let one of their customers know. Maybe it's a customer by subscription, or something else, that in or after a while, right, or at a particular date, um, their car is due for service, right? It's due for a service, or if one of their clients is, or let's say 1,000 of their clients were set to leave the country, right? Maybe on business or holiday and so on, and the driver was really going to take a toll on the car. Um, could simply put up a notification, right? Say, okay, your car after this long, or after, let's say, after a month from your vacation, right? Somewhere in the bundu, in the jungle, it's gonna be due for a service, right? Or it should be serviced, or it should be checked. You understand, for future, right? I have 1,000 of these clients, right? And now, um, picking up the phone, like making a call to 1,000 people, it's quite strenuous. You understand? You need staff for that. Sending an email, right? Yeah, as if anyone reads their emails. As if anyone reads their emails. I read my emails sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. I, I've subscribed to a whole lot of things since I opened that account. I mean, it's music, it's music, it's music, and like there's so much music and there's so much design in there that's going on. Not to mention, like, there's security, and then there's Reddit, and like there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things. Filtering through that to find your email, it's gonna be something else. You understand? It's gonna be something else. If you have my number, sure thing, you can just drop an SMS once in a while. But sending an SMS is also costly. You understand? Like, there's a cost. You're gonna get charged for that. Which every SMS you send to a particular number or to a contact. Um, what else? Calling, yeah, we've already exhausted that one. It's exhausting. So what you need is an app, right? If you can put that together, or if it really fits into your budget, then cool, you can put together an app and say, cool, for my clients, right, or for my clients or my client base, or the people that have subscribed to my service, here's an app. You understand? If you're planning on, let's say, leaving the country or going out and doing your stuff and so on, wherever you're going to be doing whatever, come and get your car checked and so on, get your car checked, tell us where you're going to be and so on and so on and so forth, and then we'll schedule, let's say, a checkup for your car, right? You can bring your car in, let's say, for an hour or two, we have a look at it, we'll check it out, and then we'll let you know when you're going to bring it next, or you're going to have to wait until maybe you need to bring it in for oil if you can't do that kind of stuff on your own, which is a shame. So for that, right, with a huge client base, yeah, sure, you might need an app. Right? Now, for a company that's still growing, right, they can afford to have a dev team of, let's say, 10 to 15 or 6 to 12, you understand, or 4 to 8 people, you understand, or 2 to 4 people. You understand? A team is not an option. You understand? It's off the budget. So what do we need? What do they need if they have a system, right? A management system or data management system, where they keep their clients and so on, where they get to manage the client's data, or their records, the communications with the clients per client and so on. And they have an API which is most probably linked to their web system, right, or their website. One thing that, what do they need? You just need an app and integrate it, just link it to there and you're done. So having, like, deciding to have like 14 people on such a small project, sure thing, if you're looking for quality and you have the price for it, if you can buy the 14, you can pay the 14 people to do that, and maybe a couple more after it's done to maintain it. Or you can trim down the size of the team and have about 2 to 3 people maintain it, or 4. You understand? So money money is going to be a huge factor. It's going to be something that's going to drive your consideration as to whether or not you're using a cross-platform compatible framework like Flutter, right? When I say cross-platform, I mean one code base, two platforms. And I said one code base, Apple and Android, and you're done. That's the power of Flutter. You have that. React can also do that, and you're done. And I said one person can take care of the whole thing. If your API is really tricky to navigate and there's no documentation, sure thing, you might have to drag the dude who put it together to document the thing and to help the poor guy who just doesn't know what he's gotten himself into. But at the end of the day, Flutter is an option if you're on a budget or if you just want to get something into market as quick as possible. You understand? So those are the kind of people that use Flutter. Small businesses, medium-sized businesses that don't have the budget for a team, or that want to get something into market, or small to medium-sized businesses or individuals, not small to medium-sized individuals, right? But individuals or small to medium-sized businesses, you understand, that are looking to get something into market or are on a tight budget. Flutter would get you that quick and easy. You understand? I don't know, is there anything else you ask for? I mean, what else do you need? What else do you want from me? Just leave me alone, man. I don't know how I came up with this, but this is nice. Anyway, what are the other driving factors anyway, like that influence people to pick up a framework like Flutter and so on, and React, or like, I don't know, if I miss something, just let me know, and fill me in on this thing, because this is a topic for discussion. We got we have ladies and gentlemen that are getting into the space. They're working on their degrees and so on. I myself am working on my degree, and I've been doing this for 10 years actually. Been in code for 10 years. Yeah, with the motion and stuff. Anyway, and a lot of people, they really need to know and to learn this stuff and navigate the space, because there are other challenges that come with being in the space that we tend to ignore quite a lot. So if I miss something, write it down in the comments right there, there, like yeah, right there, right there, right there, right there, right there. I just right there. If you scroll, like you find it right there. There'll be like comment, and you just find it right there. Just write something right there. Just write something, and there's this little thumbs up button right there. Just hammer it a couple of times. Um, and before you go on to the next video, just make sure it's blue and we'll be good. It'll be good. There's also a red button right there. If you could slap it, that would be wonderful. That would be really, really, really wonderful. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Where we'll talk about stuff, or we might be doing stuff. This is nice.